Hey there, fellow sports gamblers. It's Steel Picks for you with the 5 best NBA prize picks and underdog free picks for today, March 23rd. Before we run down the picks for Monday's games, let's do a quick recap of Sunday night's action. As promised, I was able to get some redemption in the tournament from the college kids. Ivan Konchkov was jacking threes from all over the place as he went 1 for 4, easily surpassing the .5 we needed for victory. His teammate Koa Pete made us sweat it out a little bit, but eventually ended the game with 14 points, pushing us over the 13.5 threshold we needed by a half a point. Denzel Aberdeen was Kentucky's leading scorer with 20 points, accounting for a third of the team's offensive scoring output. Unfortunately, the Wildcats couldn't get past the Cyclones to advance to the Sweet 16, but for our purposes, he easily covered the 16.5 points we needed from him. In a stunning upset, Iowa beat number 1 Florida 73-72. In defeat, Alex Condon led the Gators with 21 points and 7 assists, surpassing the over 17.5 we predicted. Our only defeat on Sunday was a heartbreaker. With 37.7 seconds left in the game, Purdue's Trey Kaufman-Wren grabbed his 9th rebound, taking his points, rebounds, and assists total to 29, a half point more than we needed. To miss perfection by a half point with less than a minute to go is a tough pill to swallow, but 4 out of 5 ain't bad. And speaking of the half point, here's a little known fact I'd like to share with you guys. The half point was invented in the 1940s by a man named Charles McNeil, a former math teacher and securities analyst who opened a bookmaking operation in Chicago. When you experience the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat because of the half point, you have that man to thank. The college kids are off on until Thursday, so it's time to shift gears back to the pros. First up is Houston's Tari Eason under 10.5 points against Chicago. I don't know what's gotten into Tari as of late, but his scoring output has been dreadful. In his last 5 games, he has been under 10.5 points every single game, and in his last 10 games, he has been under 10.5 points every single game. He hasn't scored more than 10 points in a game since February. As we look at the splits for the last 20 games, he hasn't scored over 10 points in a game since February the 23rd against the Utah Jazz, almost a month ago. And as you can see, PrizePicks has a very favorable -19 on this wager as well. And not to be mean to our guy, Tari and pile on, but for that exact same logic, I'm taking Tari under 18 points, rebounds, and assists. As you can see, the numbers are a little bit better with the rebounds and assists. He was able to do that once in the last 5 games. And in the last 10 games, just that same game that he was able to do that in. But overall, the outcome is still pretty much the same, give or take a few games, where he was able to get, over the last 20 games, where he was able to get a few more rebounds than normal. Here against the New York Knicks, he was able to get 12 rebounds. Here against the Utah Jazz, he was able to get 10 rebounds. Here against the Miami Heat, he was able to get 11 rebounds. And this one game here against the Atlanta Hawks, he was able to get 10 rebounds. And as you can see, that's really all he's been able to do so far. PrizePicks is giving us -119, so that is also favorable. In addition, another thing that we have going for us in this matchup is that in his last 4 games, his minutes have decreased dramatically from 33 minutes against the Lakers to 32 minutes against the Lakers to 25 minutes against the Hawks and 20 minutes against the Miami Heat. So even less opportunities to put up big numbers from him. So I definitely think he's going under the 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Next up for us is Gary Payton II over 13.5 points and assists against the Dallas Mavericks. He's definitely made the most of his opportunity in Steph Curry's absence, putting up some pretty decent numbers. And as you can see, the stats and analytics will back up our prediction on this one. In the last 5 games, he's gone over that 13.5 point threshold in every single game. And in his last 10 games, again, 8 for 10, going over that threshold. His only misses were against Oklahoma City Thunder and the Utah Jazz. He's going up against the Dallas Mavericks team that is allowing in the bottom third for points allowed and the third most assists to opposing teams. As you can see, PrizePicks has it at minus 119. So again, a very favorable wager for us. As a reminder, when you sign up with BETR using my promo code WINCASH, you'll receive 2 anytime tokens worth up to $100 each. And when you sign up for Novig using my promo code STEELEWINS and spend $5, you'll get $50 in bonus cash. Next up for us is Victor Wembanyama over 15.5 rebounds and assists. This worked out favorably for us on Saturday against a much lesser opponent in the Indiana Pacers, and I think our chances for the under even more against the Heat. As you can see, as said previously, in his last 5 games, he's only been over the 15.5 points and assists one time, and in the last 10, he's only achieved that 2 times. And if you look at his last 20 splits, again, 15 out of 20. And in those games where he was able to do so, a little bit more of a rebounding prowess, 11 rebounds against the Dallas Mavericks, 15 rebounds against the Sacramento Kings, 17 rebounds against the Detroit Pistons, 16 again against that same opponent, the Pistons, and 12 rebounds against the Charlotte Hornets. The centers that have been going up against the Miami Heat as of recent, Alfred Sengun was under, DeAndre Ayton under, Ryan Kalbrenner was under, Wendell Carter was under, Ousmane Dieng was under. The only person in the last 6 games to be over was Moussa Diabate. And as you can see, PrizePicks also likes this pick at minus 19. So very favorable wager for us. I think Wembanyama will be looking to show out in South Beach, especially with the points and block shots, which brings me to my last pick of the night, Bam Adebayo over 16.5 field goal attempts. Bam Adebayo feels like he's the man in his own right, and who's to tell him he's wrong after someone that's, had an 83-point performance 2 weeks ago. If you look at the last 10 games, clearly he's not shy about putting up shots. And the Spurs surprisingly allow, as far as field goals attempted, in the bottom third of the NBA, and they're pretty much in the middle of the pack. So again, back to our last 10 games chart, he's been definitely jacking up the shots, 17-24. The only 2 games that he was under that 16.5 field goal threshold was 15 against Brooklyn and 14 against Orlando. And of course, the high water mark when he became the second highest scorer in a NBA game in league history, 43 shots. So I definitely feel like he's going to try and make a statement for himself. He doesn't want to be outshined or embarrassed. So look for him to put the ball up early and often. Our bets we have are Tari Eason under 10.5 points, Tari Eason under 18.5 points, rebounds and assists, Gary Payton II over 13.5 points and assists, Victor Wembanyama under 15.5 rebounds and assists, and Bam Adebayo over 16 field goal attempts. That's the 5 picks I have for you today. Please be sure to like and subscribe to the Steel Picks for You channel, and good luck, everyone.